All right. Yes.
All
right, hang on. Okay, hang on. Let me explain what we're gonna do real quick. Okay. So you guys are always quiet, so that's great. So we're gonna do a little group exercise, and then we're gonna come back, and we're just gonna make sure that you understand everything about the integers, adding and subtracting integers, which I think everybody is pretty much up to speed. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand or utilize your partner. So on the back of that sheet is what we're gonna do next, but don't start just yet. We're gonna do a little practice exercise with the tic-tac-toe with your AB partner, and then we're gonna take notes on adding and subtracting decimals, and we may get to fractions depending on how much time we have left, okay? So it just depends. As far as movement, just kind of stay in your partner area, AB partner area. We should be working on that exercise. Once we're done with that, we'll only take maybe 5-6 minutes to finish that up, and then we're gonna start taking notes on decimals, okay? So, why do you think it's important, first of all, that we even know how to add and subtract decimals and fractions? What are some things that we use those things for almost every day? Money, yeah, our money system is based off of decimals, right? So we definitely need to know that. Is that what you're gonna say, Eric? Anybody else have some? There's some other stuff out there. What do we use fractions for? Somebody came up. Yeah, cooking, right? And if you mess up, so let's say they say you need a half a cup of flour, and you put a quarter of a cup of flour in, and you catch it, but now you need to figure out how much more flour do I need to add, right? Or if you put too much of something in, and you need to take it out, you need to know how much you have to take out, right? So we need to be able to make sure we understand how fractions work and how decimals work. Any other examples? Those were the ones but there's other ones out there. Does anybody think of anything else that we use fractions with?
Building, construction.
Construction, exactly, yeah. Or measuring anything, right? Because rulers and yardsticks are measured in inches, but they're also measured in half, quarter, 16th. Some of them go down to 32nds of an inch, right? So if you don't understand fractions, if you're building something, it may be crazy, right? You may not build it right. Yeah. So you need to understand that. Yeah. All right, so there's a lot of things that we use this stuff for. So we want to make sure that we're good at this. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're just going to take, like I said, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. You already finished all that? Okay. I want you to pair up with your AB partner. If your AB partner's not here, like you guys work together, you're going to work with them. You guys are going to work together. Wait. You two work together. Okay. You two work together. So you work with me. Christian? You guys work together, right? Okay. This is just going to be a quick fun thing, okay, hopefully. So here's how it's going to play out. These are just like tic-tac-toe boards. And what you're going to do is one person, whoever's going to start, I don't have a coin. I'll flip, no, I'm not going to flip that. Huh? Oh, I can't flip mark. I'll flip this piece of paper.
Now flip.
All right, so B's. B's are going to start, okay? So if you're a B, you're going to start. So, okay, so A, B. Now you're a B, all right? All right, so if anybody else has that problem where you're both B's, let me know and I'll just do it quick. All right, so B's are going to start. So you can pick any square you want. You're going to solve the problem. If you get the answer right and your partner agrees that it's right, then you get that spot and you put your initial. If you're wrong, then that spot's open game and your partner can steal it, yeah, or they can pick another spot if they'd rather have another spot, okay? So if you get it right, you put your initial there, or you put A or B, and then your partner gets to go and they can pick any square they want to do. And it's just like tic-tac-toe, okay? So there's going to be some strategy in there too. All right, so you guys pair up.
Since I'm done, why don't we I'll be out.
What we got? Oh, that's true. So we could do that. We could do. No, go by yourself. All right. So how about this? You guys want to work with imagination? You want to do that? What's up? That way we're 2 and 2 because it's hard to play tic-tac-toe with 3. Why don't you guys just switch desks? Is that cool? Miguel, can work with you? All right. And then Sally, you can
Mr.
so what's the positive and the negative of that?
Oh, that would be
got it right, and if you got it right, then that's your spot. Okay? And then so just start over here. Okay, start on this one. So pick a spot you want and think tic-tac-toe. Just pick whichever spot you want. Solve that problem. If she says yes, then you keep that. And then you let her do this. Okay? And you're gonna take turns and you're gonna do a tic-tac-toe. If anybody is stuck, like completely stuck, just raise your hand and I'll be walking around to help you out. Please go first. So A, B, yes.
Wait, A, I'm B.
Yeah. So you go. Well, whichever one. So you've got two papers, right? As you solve it, you're both going to write your answer down on that block on your papers. Okay, you have two papers. So don't pick that. It sounds where you want. So just like you did the front, you do it exactly like you did the front, and you did the front. So you're going to only solve one problem, and your partner's going to solve a problem. So which way are you trying to solve?
Okay.
So how did you open up? You did front, you circle. Remember, we checked both those times. And so,
Yeah, no one did.
And that's fine, except for when we get in the numbers like 137 plus a million of 157. See what I mean? So that's where that's gonna hurt you. So make sure you can follow everybody. So we're gonna go about 3 more minutes.
Okay, I did the very middle of that.
If you happen to finish a game, if somebody wins one, just move to a different board. Just move to a different board, okay? And we're doing this for fun, so it's no don't get anybody's face. So for this game, we're not worried about the sum at the bottom, okay? For this game, we're not going to worry about the sum at the bottom. So if you won one, great. Then move on to a new board and start a new game, okay? We're gonna go probably another 2 minutes, so if you finish the game, continue playing the next game. If your partner gets stuck,
Yes, I did. Don't jump in. Are you first line? You know the answer. Oh, yeah. Me too. 9 minus the 3.
Alright, so let's go about another minute. You're not going to have an opportunity to answer every question, so that's okay.
I want the first one.
So as long as we got through at least one game. At least one game. Slot.
4.
All right. So I need everybody now. If you are done with the front, I need everybody's attention. Give me 5, 4. All right. So if you are done with the front, finish with the front, and you did at least one game on the back, I'll take your paper. Okay? If you finish the front and at least one game on the back, I need your name at the top. Please don't forget your name. Okay, you want to record this right now? Okay. So you should both have a copy of your game on both sheets, right? You should have a copy of the game on both sheets. So if you don't, write it down. But we need to move on. So all right, so I need everybody back in their seat, turned around.
Otherwise,
And we are. Did you finish what? The front? If you do not finish the front, don't pass it up. Don't pass it up. Anyone else have anything to turn in? Austin, are you done? You done with the front? Okay, that's okay. So hang on to them, but put them up for now. Put them up for now. We're going to start something new. Get everybody back in their seat. All right, so let's put these up. Hang on. Let me tell you what we're doing first. We're just going to continue on using the rules that we already know, and we're going to apply those to decimals and fractions. We're going to at least get through decimals today. If we have an opportunity to touch on fractions, we will. Hang on. So pass these back. If you don't have those other papers finished on the front side, just get them done and get them to me, but not right now. I need you listening right now. So everybody should be on this. Okay, hang on. We're going to go through these notes first.
Who's that?
Please hold for 1 second. Okay, so give me a second.
What's with the stuff?
Surprise delivery.
That's
So, just do this for now because I'm best. Okay, I need you guys to listen up now. All right, so we're going to take some notes at the top. We've already talked about the importance of why we need to know about fractions and decimals. Do me a favor, just sit them so that they won't fall. Try to sit them in like straight stacks. All right. So we are going to talk about adding and subtracting decimals and fractions. So at the top, we're only going to start with decimals. So you have 2 lines to write on. I want you to only write on this top line right now, okay? So we're going to talk about...
After decimal?
Yep, and so what we're going to do is just write decimal. So on the top line, hang on for 1 second. Don't worry about handing anything else in at this moment. I'll get them before we go, okay? So decimals. What can somebody tell me is one important thing when we're adding or subtracting decimals? What is the key thing we have to do when we're gonna add or subtract decimals? Just think about it for a second. We're adding or subtracting decimals. What's the key thing that we have to do?
Line up the place value.
Line up the place value. So our decimal has to be in a straight line if we're adding up or down. Just like if we add regular numbers. So if we added 5 and 15, I wouldn't write it like this, right? Because that's in the tens column. So that would be 50. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we are adding a decimal. And if we think about regular integers, nowhere, you're just watching it right now. If you think about regular integers, there's a decimal there, we just don't normally write it. We don't write 5.0 or 15.0 unless we're talking about money, right? If we were talking about money, we might say, well, we had $15.05 and somebody gave us $5.07. How much money do we have? Okay, so that's how we do decimals. And so decimals, the important thing that you need to write down is that we want to line up the decimal. And this worksheet is strictly about adding. So we're going to say line up the decimal, then add. Okay, line up the decimal, then add. So that should just be the only thing you write on that top line, right here. Second line, we're going to leave it blank for now because we're going to be talking about fractions, and we're going to leave space for that. And we're going to be rewriting these rules over and over because repetition helps you remember, right? So the same rules, that next blank there, same rules apply to adding various types of rational numbers. So I kind of just gave you the answer, but what are rational numbers? Somebody tell me what one thing is for rational numbers. Because if we say rational numbers, we need to know what we're talking about. Obviously. Decimals, specifically what kind of decimals though? Remember? Repeating or terminating, exactly right. Repeating or terminating decimals. The other would be, there's another one. What's another one, Marcus? Think about what I said we're going to be doing today. So we got decimals. What's the other thing? Fractions. All right. And then so we've got repeating and terminating decimals, fractions, and what other thing that we use on a regular basis?
Integers.
Integers. But raise your hand for me, okay? So integers, repeating and terminating decimals, and fractions. All right. So the same rules apply to adding various types of rational numbers, and now we know what kind of numbers we're talking about. And so inside where it says adding integers, what are our existing rules? It says if the signs are the same, we do what? Signs are the same, we add them. So add. You're going to put that right inside the box that says adding integers. If the signs are the same, add and use the same sign.
What?
So far, what I have seen people doing is forgetting if we have two negative numbers, make sure you keep it a negative answer.
What did you say?
Inside the box? So this says add at the top here. The second one down here at the bottom is going to be if the signs are different, we do what? Subtract. If the signs are different, we're going to subtract. Alright, so we should have that box all filled in. The same rules. Rules. That was the second blank above right here. Rules. Okay? So everybody should have the same rules apply. If the signs are the same, we add and use the same sign. And then if the signs are different, we subtract. All right. So we just went through the rules. Add, different, subtract. Okay. So we've already done these. We've done a lot of practice today on that already, so we're not going to do those. We already know how to do that. All right, so we're going to look down at adding decimals
What did you want the second line for?
for fractions. When we start talking about fractions, we're going to talk about that as soon as we're done with decimals. So where it says adding decimals down there, we already said the rules are the same, so what do you think we're going to put in those blanks? Add, right? And then different and subtract. The rules are the same. So we're just going to write the same things in there. If the signs are the same, we add and use the same sign. If the signs are different, we do what? Subtract. And take the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. So we're going to do these. So I'm going to do the first one for you. The add. So 4.5. And what did we say that is the important part? When I write down the second number, I need to do what? Line up the decimal. So 4.5 and 6.3.
Wait, what? I write the answer?
So when I write them down, look at this one. 5 plus 3 is 8. I keep my decimal in the same place because they have to be in a straight line. And then 4 and 6 gives me 10. So my answer on that one, and my signs on both of those numbers were positive, so my answer is also going to be positive. So that's my answer for the first one. We'll do the second one together.
And then when you'll let us go?
No,
Why?
because we have 8 minutes. We have 8 minutes.
No, I'm talking about on our own.
Oh yes, I'm gonna let you. Yes, I'm gonna let you work on your own. All right. So this one is negative. Now the thing that I want you to do is remember when you're writing these negatives down, we're not subtracting here, right? Because the signs are the same. So negative 1.8.
Plus.
I'm gonna keep. Right. We're gonna add a negative 1.6. I'm gonna keep my decimals in a straight line. So you can tell me what am I going to get first? 8 plus 6 is
12.
14. 14. Raise your hand. So remember, I put the 4 and I carry my 1. So now, 1, 2, 3. And it says I'm going to add them and keep the what? No, what does it say? Keep the sign.
Then back again.
Keep the sign. Negative 3.4. Oh, yes. Okay. I would like you guys to do the next 3. Let's just take maybe 2 minutes to do the next 3. Once you're done with them, raise your hand. I'll check them off for you. Once you're finished with those, raise your hand. I'll check them off. Don't forget to keep the sign. That's the biggest error I see. Once you're done, just raise your hand with those 3 problems. If you're stuck, let me know. When you're done with all of them in that row, you're finished with all of them in that row. We're in like the last couple of minutes.
Wait, the first row?
Careful.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're done with those 3 problems, let me check real quick. Done? Alright, just keep them up. I'll be there in a second.
Do you want us to start the next row or to wait?
Hang on for 1 second. So I only want you to do the add ones for right now. I'm gonna check real quick.
Wait. Oh, wait. Not. Wait, which
No.
one?
No, look to me.
Well, first box.
Okay, anybody else done with those? Okay, so hang on, we're gonna do the subtraction now.
What?
And we're gonna do the subtraction. You gonna check? Oh.
Not.
No, we got 5 minutes. We're not gonna pack up. We got 5 minutes. Okay. So if the signs are different, we subtract the numbers. I want to make sure we're remembering how to subtract because we may have to borrow sometimes, right? So let's look at these two numbers. The signs are different,
So we subtract.
so we subtract. Now, in the case of subtraction, and I think someone just asked me this, in the case of subtraction, I would put the bigger number on the top. Okay? Where it says the signs are different, subtract and take the number with the greatest absolute value. So I'm going to have a positive 10.7 and a negative 2.5. And remember that negative there is the sign of the 2.5. It's not just the subtraction, okay? So I'm going to subtract these two numbers. 7 minus 5 gives me 2. 2 from 0, I can't do that, so I have to borrow. And 9 minus 2 is 7. Okay?
So it's -7.
Oh, hang on. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. That is not right. 2 from 10 is what? 8.
I was like,
My fault. If you ever see me make a mistake, what should you do? Tell me. Right, tell me. Okay, so I apologize for that. If you ever see a mistake.
8.2.
Nope. Now remember, keep the sign of the bigger number. My bigger number here is the 10.7, and it's a positive, so I know my answer will be positive also. Okay, so be careful on that. So let's do the second one together. Let's do the next one. So let's do the next one together. 17.6.
Oh.
Down here under adding decimals, subtraction, okay? So I've got a negative 17.6 and I've got 8.2. What are we, tell me what we're gonna get. So 6 minus 2, 4. I can't take 8 from 7, so I have to borrow, right? But,
9.
huh?
9.
I end up with 9.
it's negative.
And right, my 17.6 is bigger, so it's gonna be a negative.
Nah.
It's gonna be a negative. So what I would like for you guys to do, we have a couple more minutes. Actually, we have about a minute. So just, you can go ahead and pack up if you like, but do those 3 problems if you get a chance over the weekend. I'm sure you can do 3 problems. Okay?
I can't.
I can't. I'm going to this one. I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
Huh?
Mr. Boone, sorry I didn't get all overnight, but I'm
Okay. So make sure you pack up your stuff.
That's
Well,
sure.
if you have them.
That's sure.
I do.
You went ahead and did
You can go ahead and pack up and you can line up because we're going to be going to lunch.
Yeah.
One of my sisters in college. Ow. I can just sleep in my sister's dorm. I can just sleep in my sister's dorm in college.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I can't wait.